Hey there, I'm some fun and welcome to my survival world, but also something a little bit different. About 2 months ago, maybe even actually probably closer to three by the time you're seeing this, I joined my first build competition hosted by Cozy Squirrel and Mr. Villa GG over on Instagram. Now, I've always been a little bit nervous to do things like competition and anything that might require a little bit of, I don't know, sociability. Now, I've always been a little too nervous to do any kind of competition things, so I saw this as a perfect opportunity to learn something new or at least get some practice building and also face my fears of crippling social anxiety. More on that later. Face my fears, have fun. Those are really my only two must-dos. The rules were pretty simple, and the topic of building was your happy place. You had a 30 by 32 block space to build said happy place, and you were allowed to build more than one if you so chose to be so do so. With all the rules in mind, all of the yes and the no's and the maybes, and only 6 days to actually work on said project, I got to work. Day one was spent getting familiar with the rules and my surroundings while contemplating the prompt. What exactly is my happy place? My first thought was how I've always wanted to build my own home in the middle of nowhere, so I took some inspiration from an old realm I had with friends that was also a pretty happy place. I gathered some spruce logs, acacia wood, and some assorted copper and deep slate to make a small A-frame ish house with a sloped kind of awning over the porch. Some weathering action on the copper roof, and it's time to tackle the windows. Well, window. The other end found itself as a cute deep slate chimney. Very proud of myself so far, I realized two people have logged in. My neighbor Magashi, who's the awesome person building the Hollow Knight themed mushroom house tower, and Cupid, another friendly person and not a contestant. Here's about how that went. There's somebody. Oh, okay. Now there's two people online, and I'm kind of hiding. Can't see me. I don't know why it bothered. I don't know. I don't know why I'm so nerve wracked over it. I really don't. I shouldn't be. I know I shouldn't be, but I am. So yeah, I got nervous and turned my attention back inside my house to build the inside of my chimney, aka the fireplace, and a rough interior before getting the nerve to go back outside and fiddle with the idea of a swing because, oh, I wanted one. That's pretty much it. I decided on a simple awning in the back of the house where Cupid came over to say hi. We had a chat about copper that left me feeling a little bit more confident, so thank you, Cupid. By the time we went our separate ways, I wasn't quite sold on my placement of the swing, so before making any rash decision, I moved to the front of the build so I could build a cute little creek with patches of dirt. At this point, I'm just kind of chilling and feeling less anxious, so after complimenting Cupid's grub, I moved the swing to the front yard. I also remembered that I need my shop on the property, so in the spirit of getting my vision kind of roughed out since it was getting late, I threw up this little dingy shed and then used some orange wool to sort of plot out some paths before day one came to an end. P.S. Like and subscribe, or no coffin for you. Day two started by immediately getting distracted by my neighbor's progress before diving straight into the path I marked down yesterday. There was this blank area next to my shop, so I added a place to chop wood and then I stuck some more wood to dry out back before deciding to leave my shop open air and switch my spruce pillars out for some deep slate. Much less flammable now. Using all the same blocks from the chimney for the forge, and it's back to the house to throw up a quick railing, as well as tweaking the porch roof to make it a little more inviting from the entrance before deciding that I hate the swing area. I ended up just kind of shoving it onto the porch like I should have to begin with. The rest of day two was spent decorating and landscaping. I made a planter out in the front with some of my favorite flowers and tossed around a bunch of texture. I made a rug, tossed around some rocks, made a garden out back with some hidden water sources, and planted way too many flowers before calling it a night. On day three, I put another window in and did a little bit more decorating inside before I remembered I can go real deep. So, what else am I to do but add a spooky basement? I started by laying some cobble deep slate walls and spruce plank roof with like spruce logs as rafters. In fact, I got the base bit done before I got a visitor. But the question becomes, what do we want this to be down here? Don't look at my blood, don't look at my meat on my stove. Ooh, like my bed. My bed is totally safe. Oh, fuck. Oh, wait, let me see. I'm nervous. Here we go. Bad humor aside, it was lovely, and I got back to work. I threw all kinds of creepy and suspicious things in there before it was time for me to call it a day. Day four came, and I've had time to think about what I'd done. Oh, let me just be normal. That's exactly how I feel about this. Oh dear, I think I was just very tired and delirious last night. Do I think this is funny? I went ahead and changed out the stairs because I kind of want to redo this. Did I think it was funny? Yes. Yes, I did. Does it actually make me happy? Kinda, because it's funny, but at the same time, not it's not exactly something that you want to see in a build battle, I don't think. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know, leave some bloody steps. Who knows? If I just stand in the corner, just stand in the corner, let somebody find me. Just go AFK in the corner of my basement. Yeah, I decided to do away with my creepy basement and make it an actual just normal basement. But I did keep one chain because, well, I can. Now, I did make this barrel dripping resin idea for like spilled mead or something. I saw it in Meg's build when I was being a little bit nosy off camera. So now we need a place for the bees so we can get honey for our mead. I then decided to make a bunch of chicken nests, and because I can't stay in one place, I went back to the basement to replace my deep sleep floor with dirt. Much better. You know what else makes me happy? Sewing. So, sewing machine. Yay. I spent the rest of the day replacing my railing with this copper rod and spruce trapdoor combo. I then had to take my dog Pumpkin for a walk and forgot to record the rest of the bits, odds, and ends that I kind of finished up the build with. So here's the result. Just a wee bit more tweaking later, and here we are, my happy place. A cabin in the middle of nowhere that I built myself. Yeah. Anyway, this is very interesting. I added a few last minute details, like say a ball, because I can't be in my happy place and not have Pumpkin with me. So Pumpkin's got to have all her toys and whatnot. Speaking of which, she's got plenty of toys around. Of course, she's got to drag her blanket out everywhere too. Got my chest freezer, Pumpkin right over here. Yes, I know it doesn't make any sense, but we can't do mobs on the server, so this is as close as we get. It's actually pretty accurate. It's actually pretty accurate. But we have our forge area, which, quite frankly, I would love to have an actual workshop space like this. And then, of course, we have our outside area, a place for our bees, nests where all the chickens do their thing, our little bridges. I'm actually loving it. Normally, I wouldn't allow myself to do so many details, but I kind of like it, not gonna lie. At some point, I had changed the shape of the roof. I kind of like it because now we have a way to go straight to the front door, or you can go around. And then if we go inside, if we go inside, there is all this going on. Pumpkin has her toys everywhere because that's what she does. We have her food bowl and her water bowl. For anyone that doesn't know, she is on an exclusive diet of the souls of the innocent or the damned, either one. I don't really understand her motivations or how she works. She just kind of just does. We have her lead over here because she kind of snuck out. She does that sometimes. We got our computer where we can play some Minecraft, a sewing machine, a little sewing machine, one of her toys right here that she tore up, so I've got to sew it back together. And our cute little kitchen that desperately needs cleaning. We got our bed. I forgot to put the bed back. Uh-oh. There we go. But we have our nice little loft area with our bed, some candles to help light up the place, a nice cozy fireplace, and our basement that is still slightly menacing, but not nearly as just not fun as it was. We have our mannequin for sewing purposes or whatever purposes. Creepy little flowers. Of course, Pumpkin has for some reason brought all of her toys down here, or some of her toys down here. But it's more or less kind of like a root cellar type space. We have my actual sewing machine. And it's just overall a very nice place. And I think that is as much as I dare say do. I've probably added way more details. I've probably added way more details than this thing actually needs. But that's the thing. I'm learning and I'm trying to get out of my comfort zone. Yes, that is me. But yeah, I think maybe I'll end up doing some more stuff like this, whether it's build competitions or if you have an idea for a prompt of sorts, leave it down below. Anyways, we're gonna skip up to the day where we learn whether or not we actually won anything, and that will be that. Take it away, Amy. Yeah, I didn't win, but I accomplished my mission. I practiced, I met some people, I even got to see some more cool builds in person, which I didn't think I'd ever really get to do. All in all, I had a great time, and I'm considering maybe trying more, maybe even doing a series challenge where you guys prompt me. I don't know. Let me know if you think that's something that you'd actually be interested in. That being said, this was a really long one, and I'm gonna try not to bite off more than I can chew next time. It's about to get scary in a second, even in a nice little survival game. So you have a great day, and bye. Oh, and I forgot. Yes, I did indeed change my skin. I just wanted a little bit of an update, something that I don't know. Not green on green on green. I like green. I don't need that much green. Let me get back in here before something bad happens. Me too, Pumpkin. Me too.